TikTok has a new challenge called the Stranger Bucket Challenge. This is where fully grown adults will go around putting buckets on people's heads and filming their reaction. Now, it's all fun and games until it's not. This actually took a really serious turn and actually landed someone in the hospital. Who would have thought, right? TikTok challenge that's dangerous? Never heard of that one.
It's the latest idiotic social media prank, and it may just be the worst one yet. Knuckleheads sneak up on shoppers and put a bucket over their head. Then the pranksters run off, leaving their victim to wonder what the heck just happened and who did it.
Did you hit me with a bucket?
No, really? Watch, he pranks him again. This dude also pounces with the bucket head challenge and quickly runs off. In some cases, the prankster tries to throw off their victim by also putting a bucket on their own head.
Seriously?
What?
Why you just put a bucket on my head?
Someone just put a bucket on my head.
Did they?
Yeah.
Now, these are the kind of kids that parents would be proud to have, you know? My son's a doctor, he saves lives. My son's an engineer, he builds things. My son puts buckets on people's head for likes on the internet. So the essence of the challenge is pretty simple. It's kind of like what you'd see in maybe a middle school class or something. There's some idiotic teenagers kind of fooling around. You put a bucket on a stranger's head to, you know, demonstrate your IQ to the world. Now, initially you'd think that, oh, this is just a little harmless prank, right? It doesn't really mean anything because you're pissing them off a little bit and you're kind of wasting their time, but no like serious damage is being done. It's not like the previous challenges where we're drinking a gallon of alcohol. Now, unfortunately, that's not actually the case. This challenge can pretty much be really dangerous to certain group of people. So this prank actually violates the 2 golden rules of pranks on the internet. Here's the 2 golden rules. Number 1, you do your pranks with your friends who will probably be okay with it and they'll probably forgive you for, you know, being a little annoying. So the rule number 1 is don't harass strangers. Now, rule number 2 is that the prank/challenge must be harmless, right? You can't actually do some legitimate damage to the other person. Now, believe it or not, the bucket challenge actually violates both of these rules. Now, the problem with using strangers in your prank is, whoop-de-doo, you accidentally picked a cancer patient and now they're in the hospital. And what do you know? Suddenly, it's not so funny anymore and you're a ginormous dickhead who's just committed assault and nearly killed someone.
On Sunday afternoon, Lana Clay Monahan, a new mom of twin boys, was shopping for baby supplies when she was completely caught off guard. 4 teenagers waited until she was alone in the aisle, tossed a bucket over her head, then started recording and eventually ran out of the store.
Okay, so this woman was shopping for her babies and these absolute creeps were just like staking out the area, just waiting for like several minutes to find this woman alone. I guess maybe her husband or some other people were with her and I don't know, they probably just didn't want to get punched in the face. So they kind of stalked her and waited until she was all alone in the baby aisle, which is just so ridiculous, like waiting for a woman to be alone in the baby aisle. Lovely. Just gonna say that's a very weird thing to do for a harmless challenge.
I was looking at some baby soap. I leaned down and then my whole world changed. Everything went dark, quiet, and there really was no air. I flipped off what was put over me and around my neck, and I turned around and looked over my left shoulder, and to my dismay, it was a group of individuals who were filming me.
But let me get this straight. There's 4 teenagers waiting for this woman to be all alone in the baby aisle to eventually pounce on her with a bucket. Now, this person just absolutely cannot catch a break. Like, imagine getting cancer and also being part of some dumbass's TikTok challenge. Like, that's gotta be the worst luck in the entire universe. Now, if you're wondering what actually happened and how she, like, passed out, basically the bucket covered her head and she couldn't breathe because of some reason, and she passed out and winded up in the hospital.
Lana is a 30-year cancer survivor and developed epilepsy later in life. She says the assault deprived her of air and she fainted soon after. She was rushed to UC Irvine Medical Center. She says this had a physical and psychological impact.
I keep looking over my shoulder. I'm a nervous wreck. I cannot believe that in my community, you could go to Target, be in Target maybe a mere 10 to 15 minutes, and someone would find it amusing to come and strategically find a female by themselves in the baby aisle and think this would be funny or laughable for likes.
Now, this might be like a controversial take. I may get called a sourpuss here, but I don't think this is a prank. This is pretty much a crime. Now, listen, to a regular person, of course, this is just a mild inconvenience or something like that, and it probably won't affect their lives at all. But the thing is, you're specifically going out of your way to pick people you don't know. It's pretty much the equivalent of me walking around with a packet of peanuts and giving it to everybody to sample. Yeah, most people will probably be okay with it. I freaking love peanuts, right? But some dude is gonna have an allergic reaction. His immune system is gonna absolutely destroy him. He's gonna end up in the hospital, maybe potentially die. I don't know. The fact of the matter is that people are not the same, and you can't include them in your shitty prank. You know, this kind of hits a nerve for me because I totally understand where people just don't understand your specific situation. I remember in school, I had like a slow development in something, so all the other guys were just like really much stronger than me, and they'd kind of, you know, play hit each other, and they'd all be fine with it. But if I got hit, I would like have like a purple bruise. I'd get like blood clots, and it'd take like a full 3-4 weeks to heal. And people would just not understand that. It's kind of like if I randomly out of nowhere just took your bag for 1 hour and gave it back to you after that 1 hour, right? And you're like panicking, and you're like, oh my god, where's my bag? And I'm like, haha, I took your bag, and you panicked, and wow, no harm done, right? But what if like I had an asthma attack and I needed my inhaler, which was in my bag? What if I had an autoimmune condition and my medicine was in that bag and I needed to take it that specific moment? You might have just freaking killed me. Limit these pranks to your friends or something. I would say don't even do it on your friends, because you're not gonna have many friends after this. Why do things that annoys people and disturbs people and, you know, makes them mad? I feel like you can do pranks that's uplifting, that's pretty good. I guess those don't go viral, but that's just the prank genre, dude. It's just this disgusting lack of empathy that just pisses me off. People can never ever look at things from other people's perspective. It's just like, it's all the same for everybody. I wouldn't care if there was a bucket put on my head, so they shouldn't care either. Just because your life was so easy that you can just fucking go around spending your time putting buckets on people's head doesn't mean that everybody else was that fortunate.
For Lana, who is still recovering from neurological side effects, this was anything but funny.
And this needs to be, you know, an example that families can talk about now and say, look, you see this on social media, it's not appropriate to do that. And again, those individuals need to come forth and be held accountable.
She's probably looking to press charges here, and believe it or not, she actually can. This definitely falls under assault and battery, believe it or not, just putting a bucket on someone's head, because it did cause her damage. So now there's an investigation to actually find those people. There's obviously security camera footage from the store, so it's going to be pretty easy to find them, honestly, considering they probably made TikToks about it, which is amazing. I'll never get over TikTokers just broadcasting their crimes on the internet. Just absolutely lovely. And I don't really know what they'll be charged with. I'm, as I said, assuming it's going to be assault and battery, because it's not going to be like attempted murder or anything, because obviously they didn't know her condition. So I definitely wouldn't go that far, but definitely can be charged for assault. Hopefully they can learn from this situation and be better people in the future and not ruin their futures because of TikTok challenges. Click this video, or I don't know, they put a bucket on your head, man, and I don't know, put you in the hospital somehow.